I didn't know that he was famous or well-respected. He would come down to the dining room wrapped up in like a blanket, and he always signed for his meals. They were charged, and he would sometimes not give a tip, and he'd tell me he'd catch up later, and he always did most generously. And it's funny because he often reminded me of an Emily Dickinson poem that I always loved. And the poem goes something like, "Hi, I'm nobody. Are you nobody too? Shh, don't tell. They'd banish us, How weary to be someone. How public like a frog. To tell your name the livelong June to an admiring bog." And he never revealed who he was, never acted really important, and didn't give a damn what other people might think.
Song 3. This morning of the small snow, I count the blessings, the leak in the faucet which makes of the St. Time the drop of the water on water as sweet as the Seth Thomas in the old kitchen. My father stood in his drawers to wind always. He forgot the 30th day, as I don't want to remember the rent. A house these days, so much somebody else's, especially Congolians. Or the plumbing, that it doesn't work. This I like. I've even used paper clips as well as string to hold the ball up and flush it with my hand. But that the car doesn't, that no moving thing moves. Without that song, I'd void my era of the music racket of all ownership. Holes in my shoes, that's all right. My fly gaping, me out at the elbows. The blessing that difficulties are once more. In the midst of plenty, walk as close to there. In the face of sweetness, hiss. In the time of goodness, go side, go smashing, beat them, go as near as you can, tear. In the land of plenty, have nothing to do with it. Take the way of the lowest, including your legs. Go, contrary, go, sing.
He had a political aspect to the work that I liked. It was political, it was also archaeological, anthropological, and all of that together, for me, made a new horizon of what you could do, that you could take every aspect of your mind and utilize it as a poet. Not the obscure and the recondite, but what actually is the matter that moves the most people. What are the concerns of the people? Why are they those concerns? And the whole question of putting the hinge back on the door, that is, trying to find out what had been hidden from us by the emergence of this new one-sided society. That was important, particularly for me being black, because I knew part of that was the connection to Africa. Where are the foundations of the world from? And Charles was saying, you have to go back.
We'll go back and see what we were doing on the ice there, and we got fire, and then we could move again, and then we move. So it's the pattern of the human race going across the whole of the Earth's surface. Then he moves even further when he finds out that those continents are all moving. This fascinates him. So it's the movement of place and the movement of peoples, and then that ethos, the way we act with one another, that's central to his imagination. But it has to begin in a place.
I guess the sad dilemma is simply what Olson takes from John Winthrop's address to the Mass Bay colony. And Winthrop's point is beautiful, is that make Boston shine upon its hills, et cetera, et cetera. But the point was that men could care about the kind of world they lived in, that they could care about it, and in that sense both care for it and care to have it that way. And I guess the dilemma presently is what kind of world are men and women caring to have?
He wanted always to get back to the beginning because he really felt that it was only there that any change was possible. And if you're talking about political change, that's the only possibility of changing form, of changing consciousness, of changing the uses of power. And specifically, I think, human masculine power, since that's the way it's been manifested since Homer. And as he would see it since Zeus took over and buried the Titans underground. And so also considered himself a Titan.
Olson was looking for a door to something else back of the classical Greek world, and he thought he had found it partly in the text of Hesiod, the Theogony. The Theogony's main subject is the war between the prior gods, the Titans, and the Olympians. And Zeus and the Olympians defeat the Titans and throw them into Tartaros, this strange subterranean universe, which prior to becoming a dungeon for the Titans had a different character as a productive and powerful and mysterious underworld, a world of earth forces and energies rather than celestial order. And Olson celebrates the Greek in a very beautiful way.
The sea was born of the earth without sweet union of love, Hesiod says. But that then she lay for heaven, she bare the thing which encloses everything. Okeanos, the one which all things are, and by which nothing is anything but itself, measured so.
I had an amazing dream about Charles. I was visiting Cairo. I was out back behind the museum, and it was daytime, but suddenly it was night. And he came up behind me, and he said, "Look up." And I looked up, and he said, "You can see the whole hypostasis." And when I looked up, instead of seeing the constellations, I saw the forms that lay behind the constellations. That's Charles. It's in the night, it is, and it's not the forms we're used to seeing and the ones that give us comfort. It's something else.
July 25th, 1957, Wednesday evening. Too excited, have just found a wonderful, crazy apartment. The rooftops of Gloucester. No stove, no refrigerator, no heat, but light. Oh, Charles, the light. And a little balcony. And what do I look at? The ocean and gulls. Flocks of gulls. A block from the water, right at the wharf. 28 Fort Square, do you know it? And now to Garbo and Grand Hotel. I wish you were with me. Your body, my darling man. I miss your body. Betty.
And I think the first exodus is written in Shakespeare. And my plan was to write them only as letters to Vincent Frini whenever I chose.